Back, two counties in Colorado are coming together and suing the state all over the migrant crisis. Here to break down this lawsuit is our legal analyst, Whitney Traylor. Thank you so much for coming in.
Good to be here.
So what we're talking about here is Douglas and El Paso counties now coming together. So what are they asking the court to do?
Well, they initiated this lawsuit based on two bills that the legislature passed, one in 2019 and one in 2023, essentially saying that local law enforcement can't ask about people's immigration status or detain them based on their immigration status. And so what these local law officials or law enforcement are saying, and county commissioners as well are part of the lawsuit, they're saying, hey, we want to declare that unconstitutional. We want to be able to work with the federal government and ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, and we want to be able to detain people and talk to them about their immigration status without violating this law.
So what's their end goal, and do you think this is the best way of going about it?
Yeah, I think this is probably the best way. Their end goal, I mean, what they're asking the court to do is say this is unconstitutional. And this is really the way to do it. This is how our laws are formed in the country is the legislature passes a law and then there's a lawsuit and the courts interpret that and say, yes, it's constitutional or no, it's not. And so that, I think, is essentially what these plaintiffs are doing. So I think this is a good venue to do so.
This is such a fight, like the local government and the federal government.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen next with this, do you think?
Right. Well, the lawsuit's going to go forward. There'll be briefs, probably summary judgment, and there'll be a decision, and then it will likely get appealed. And you raised the issue that was raised in the complaint, which is the supremacy clause. Does the federal government do those federal laws supersede these state and local laws? And that's one of the arguments. And so there's a number of constitutional arguments. So even though this is a very sensitive and nuanced political issue, this is a good thing for us to sort of develop our laws. So it's good that the court is actually looking at this.
Some cities are declaring themselves sanctuary cities.
Yeah.
Others are specifically stating they are not sanctuary cities.
Yeah.
Do these designations have any legal meaning or merit?
That's a good question. And the short answer is no. They don't really have any legal meaning. I think it's more symbolic. And then, of course, if a city, the city government, I think Colorado Springs recently said, we're not a sanctuary city or whatever. If it's the city council saying that, even though it doesn't have a legal designation, they're obviously dedicating resources and making policy, so the policy will likely follow whatever they're declaring. But no, I think it's more symbolic, and I think it's to say we're a sanctuary city like Denver, saying, hey, migrants, you could come in and feel comfortable. That's not necessarily unusual. Folks saying we're not a sanctuary city, that's sort of new on the scene, and that is a little bit unusual, and it's, I guess, sending a different message.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're going to be following this lawsuit and a lot more to come from it. Whitney, as always, thanks for coming in.
All right, good to be here.